Hey guys, I wanted to show you around the back end of LinkedIn Recruiter. So let me just explain a little bit about the tiers of LinkedIn. Essentially, LinkedIn has a bunch of different solutions that they offer, whether it's for business development or recruiting. And LinkedIn's regular platform that you are all aware of, you can join for free. You can navigate around it at no charge. You can make connections at no charge. You can apply for jobs at no charge. Ah, wait, let me try that again. Let me bring this microphone closer. All right, Ethan, let's try one more time. Hey guys, I wanted to show you the back end of LinkedIn. This is LinkedIn Recruiter, and I'll navigate through this in just a moment for you. But just to explain the tiers of LinkedIn, you have regular LinkedIn's platform. That is free. You can navigate around it, add connections, you can message people, you can apply for jobs, you can post content at no charge. Then you have a Sales Navigator, which is a business development tool to be able to connect with and send messages to key decision makers and get some insightful data. There's LinkedIn Premium. LinkedIn Premium is normally something that allows you to have certain amounts of messages that you can send that are premium messages at no charge, as well as it's a very insightful tool for job seekers. And then you have LinkedIn Recruiter. LinkedIn Recruiter is a tool that costs close to $1,000 for a license on a monthly basis and is available to people who have recruitment agencies. Now, what I wanted to show you is about how you get found. So even though we covered a lot of this off in the initial session that we had on LinkedIn's How You Get Found, I wanted to just tell you a little bit more because most times people are asking me, hey, how did you come across my profile and how did you find me? So this is how I find you. So essentially what you're looking at is just my inbox. But what I want to show you is projects. So as an example, these are all different projects that I've worked on. But essentially what I would do is, let's say that I wanted to start a brand new project. I would click on projects. I could start a new search. So let's say that I wanted to look for an account executive. I'm just going to click on that for just a second. And I just want to show you something here. I'm going to move me over here. And as you can see here, I have all of these filters to be able to search for account executives. So let me show you a little bit about how important it is for you to make sure you're optimizing your LinkedIn profile. Over here, you see my search bars. And I'm not going to go through this so intensively. I mean, I'm not teaching you how to use Recruiter. I'm just teaching you how I would be finding you in the back end. I can search for job titles. I can search for all of these different filters, but let's say I want account executive. As you can see, it's going to pull it up, and it's also going to pull up similar titles. So I've got account executive over here. I want people who are currently an account executive. I can do my geographic locations. So let's say that I want to look in Toronto. I can look in Toronto. I can also look in the greater Toronto area. Just pick Toronto for the sake of this being easy. As you can see, all of these numbers are going down, and I'll get to these in just a second. Workplace types, on-site, remote, hybrid, I don't care. Skills. When you are filling out the skills section of your LinkedIn profile, that's where these come into play. So let's say that I want business development. I want prospecting. I want research. And I want lead generation. Now, let's go down here. I can also include the skills if you've done like a skill assessment test. I can pick up any number of companies that I want to include or exclude. But for these purposes, let's say that I don't care. I'm going to come down here. I don't care what school you attended, but let's say over here that I'm trying to find people who are between the ages of 40 and 50. So I might write over here that I'm going to assume that you graduated sometime over here let's say to over here. Now, it's important to note about this one that if you took post-secondary education and let's say that you're 50 years old and you took it recently, like that's what it's going to pull from. So this is not exact. I never really use this, but anyways, it's there. Industries. So as you see, I can't pull up SaaS. That's not an industry, but I can pull up internet and I can pull up software and all of these other filters. And so this is pulling from your most recent job. So as you can see here, look at how narrow my search got. Look at what it was and just how narrow I got by just adding those few filters. And I'm not even done yet. So let me clear out the keywords because the keywords mean that the term account executive was found anywhere on your profile. I haven't even picked that I want someone who's junior or senior. I haven't done any of that. I haven't picked my languages. I haven't picked my employment type, and I'm already this narrow. So let's go up here and let's add another title. Let's say I could do territory sales rep. Let's say over here that I'm also willing to do inside sales rep. And now let's say I'm open to current and past. You can see my filters just change there. And if I go down here, let's say I only want someone who has in their anywhere on their LinkedIn profile, I want it to say the word solution. I just went from 126 to 128. And so to 78. So why are these things important? The more narrow the search criteria the client gives me, the more narrow my search is going to become. So as an example, I right now am working on a role for someone who is an account executive or territory sales rep. They have to be an independent contributor. They have to have sold in the past windows, doors, or roofing in a commercial sense, and ideally high rise. They have to do net new business prospecting. They have to have built relationships and do presentations as well as negotiations and closes. So those are all keywords that I might potentially use here. Now, also of importance is these little buttons at the top, open to work. So if I only want to look at people who are open to work, that's 78. It's important to note that you can be open to work with a ring around you, or you can be open to work just for recruiters. Active talent, as you can see here, is candidates who have shared a profile update or public resume on LinkedIn. Rediscovered, people that I've already looked at. People who are interested in my company. So this is why you should always show an interest in the target list of companies that you're going after, because the recruiters and TAs at those companies can see that you've engaged with them. One more thing I want to call into note for you is if I go to advanced search, I'm going to move me back over here. I can go very, very narrow. I can go over here to degrees. I can go over here to the fields of study that you did in school. I can go over here to your job functions and just look up business development or sales. So if I just want business development, there's 19 people. I can look at company types. My goodness, I can look at recruiting activity. I can look at if you've got people with resumes. So this is how important your LinkedIn profile is, that you are updating it, especially if you're in the job market. The more information that you have on your LinkedIn profile, the easier it will be for a recruiter to find you if that's your intent. If it's not your intent and you don't need to be found by a recruiter, then you're fine to just have a standard resume and share your updates and connect with people and your connections and move on from there. But I wanted to show you this because people are always asking, how do I get found? How do you find me? Well, this is exactly how I do it. Till next time.